Golden Opportunities is paid for by Elder Productions.
Hello, I'm Lori Steiner. Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah, and welcome to Golden Opportunities.
Today, AARP is ready for 2017. We'll preview their plans. Then, we'll unwrap a gift that will leave you smiling for years. An insider will share stories from Social Security's more than 80-year history. Plus, we can thank him for the memories. We'll pull back the curtain on an exhibit about the one and only Bob Hope. And by law, do you have to shovel your sidewalk? We'll have the arresting information.
It's time to get geoing, so pull up a chair and join us at our kitchen table for Golden Opportunities. Are you already making your New Year's resolutions? AARP has a suggestion. This year, volunteer. Doug Tayek is here to share the many ways that you can make a difference. Doug is the Associate State Director of AARP Ohio. Welcome to the show again.
Thanks for having me here. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah to everybody. And
all right, and same to you.
Thank you.
So we think of AARP as a huge organization, and it really is, but so many of the people who work there are volunteers.
That's absolutely right. You know, as a nationwide organization, not a national organization, but a nationwide organization, we really have volunteerism at heart. It goes back to our founder, Dr. Ethel Percy Andrus, I never say her name right, who launched the organization really under the motto, serve, not to be served. And so that has permeated our work. And so working with volunteers and engaging volunteers is really an important aspect of AARP.
And there are paid, though, staff members like yourself, so why are the volunteers so important?
Well, right, so obviously I'm a paid staff member, and I have 9 other colleagues in Ohio, but really, the volunteers for us are a resource that we can't do without. They're the most important people because they're the face of the organization, and when you're talking about an organization that's 1.5 million members just in Ohio, it's hard for 9 staff people to engage at a level that our members expect, and so our volunteers really help fill that role and are a vital part of our mission. And their experience and their passion that they bring to our work really helps us connect with Ohioans at a greater level than we could do just at the staff level. And so they're very important to us.
And that translates into making a difference right in their very own communities, right?
Absolutely. That's the key part of it. We don't want people we don't want people to think that they have to travel over the place. They can volunteer right in their community. We will find opportunities to bring AARP's mission to their community to help them with their neighbors, help their neighbors, help their friends with any of the issues that are important to AARP, that are important to older adults, whether it's fighting fraud or caregiving. And so it's very important for them to be involved in their community, and that's what we hope for.
Okay. So what kind of opportunities are there volunteering with AARP?
Right. So we have a number of different ones. First, our advocacy volunteers, they're the ones who help bring our message to Columbus, to Washington, D.C., to their local municipalities. They're a lot of times our issue experts. We have our project coordinator volunteers who, folks who like to plan things, like to put together events. If we have a fun opportunity to engage our members, they're the ones who help us with the work, right? I mean, they pick the venue and pick the budget and choose the food and line up the information and the opportunity. And then finally, at that level, we have our Speakers Bureau volunteers as well, and those are people who are trained to deliver our Fraud Watch Network presentations, our caregiving information sessions, and they are out as the face in the community, talking to their neighbors, their friends, different organizations across the community. And so that's our Speakers Bureau volunteers. They're out front, delivering the important message of our social mission.
And what if your time is a little bit more limited than it sounds like that would require?
Right, and those are three opportunities that take a lot of time. But our event volunteers are ones that if you want to volunteer at an event, whether it's a local Indians game, a discount with the Indians, Game 7, it's all right. Still Game 7.
Yeah.
But different opportunities. We've done events in the past where whether it was Playhouse Square or free movies. Our event volunteers, they let us know that they want to be a part of it. They come to the game or the opportunity, have a shift, and then we buy them a ticket, and usually we'll have some sort of refreshment for them as well, so that they get to enjoy the rest of the event during that day.
All right. How about quickly a one-on-one opportunity, maybe
Right.
one.
So through our foundation, we have Experience Corps, which is run through Greater Cleveland Volunteers, who I know has been on here before, and that's working with kids in the Cleveland schools, kindergarten through 3rd grade, helping them learn to read better, helping improve their literacy skills. We have our driver safety program, which is also through part of our foundation, and that's working with older adults. It's a huge program, and it's it focuses on helping older adults become better drivers or refine their skills. And then finally, we have our tax aid volunteers, which is they're ramping up right now too, in preparation of tax season. And they're folks who work one-on-one with individuals to to do their taxes and to help make sure that they're getting their taxes done in a way that they're not putting themselves at risk for frauds or scams, and that they're getting good, solid advice. And so those are some of the individual opportunities that folks can have through AARP.
All right, great,
Yeah.
great information. Make this the year you volunteer. Not only will you make a difference in the lives of others, you'll notice a wonderful difference in your own. Need help getting started? Use the information that's coming up next. And my thanks to Doug Tayek for volunteering to be with us today.
It's my pleasure. Thanks, Lori.
For more information, call AARP Ohio at 866-389-5653 or click to www.aarp.org/Ohio. Next, a gift that keeps on giving. But first, the observance of Hanukkah began last night, and today we celebrate Christmas. So, just how often do these holidays happen at the same time? We'll delve through past dates and unwrap the answer when we return.
Let's all wake up to better health. Breathe it in and let it all out. Find a partner, an ally, a Metro Health doctor who will listen as long as it takes, so you can celebrate every day by living it your way. Get your physical, checkup, regular screening at Metro Health, and wake up every day to better health. Change is healthy.
Over the past 100 years, Christmas and the 8 days of Hanukkah have often overlapped, more than 50 times in fact. However, the first day of Hanukkah and Christmas have only occurred concurrently 5 times in the last century: 1918, 1921, 1959, 2005, and now 2016. And the next time they'll fall on the same day? Well, you'll have to wait until 2027.
As we wrap up this year, we thought we would unwrap stories of smiles restored during the past 12 months. Dentist Steve Marsh is here to share how these gifts can last for the rest of their lives.
Well, thank you, Lori. And Lori, my staff knows you like our Marsh lip balm, so
Okay.
here's some Marsh lip balm. That's our holiday gift to you.
Thank you so much. So it's been a good year for making people smile, right?
Right. And, so many people, we make resolutions, whether it's fixing our car or we're going to lose weight in the coming year or something about health. And oftentimes it's exercise, that sort of thing. But I think one of the things that maybe the show has done a real service to the Northeastern Ohio public is that people are understanding teeth are important, not just for appearance, of course that's important, but also function. And as we get older, we need nutrition. Where's our nutrition come? It's all what we take in.
Right.
The better our teeth are, the better, healthier we can stay.
All right, so you've got some makeovers from this past year, right?
Yeah, and we thought we'd focus on people who did make that part of their resolution.
Okay, doke.
So in this case, this is interesting because I also wanted to look at people because they do it at any age. This is an interesting story. This is a young man who was actually 18 at the time, and he has a number of physical problems. And his parents said, he's not proud of his smile. He had trouble brushing. He had braces. He had decay after the braces. And it was really sort of a gift from them to him, and a very special kid. And so we had him come in, we looked at options, we talked about doing gum contouring to make the teeth look longer. We also had to take out the decay, which we did today very easily and simply. And then in his case, and though he was fairly young, we gave him porcelain veneers. This is a close-up. His lip usually covers the top of it, but I've talked to the mom and dad since then. They said it was one of the best things they ever did for him. He's proud of it. When he takes a picture, he smiles. I saw him recently, and he couldn't be more thrilled. He gives you a hug when you're done. So that was really rewarding for us.
Yeah.
So let's talk about another case. So in the old days, oftentimes in the before picture, this patient had 2 old crowns put on, and it was porcelain on metal. We've really gotten away from metal. We want things to look natural. And so today with our porcelains, they're not only beautiful, but they're strong, much stronger than anything we had before. So we mentioned in this last patient where we did gum contouring to raise the tissue because you want things proportional. So we took off those 2 crowns, and it's not as difficult as one might think. 5 to 10 minutes, they were off. And then we did some gum contouring and then extended her smile. And she wanted something that she was proud of. And like the last patient, when she took pictures, she actually had hid her smile. So that's a beautiful result with a combination of 2 front crowns and veneers. And people come to us for different reasons. So we mentioned the young man. This woman is in her 40s and is looking for a job again and said, you know, I'm not happy with the way I smile. I want to be confident when I present myself. You can see, Lori, that she had never had braces and the teeth had shifted a lot. And so we did some whitening on the bottom, and in the uppers, this is where we were able to use 8 porcelain veneers to give her a smile. And she wanted to do it, and she gave us like a 3-week window because she was going for a new job. I want to be confident, and that's the result. And Lori, she got the job too.
Oh,
so,
good.
And lastly, this is somebody who for years, he inherited this in his family. He said almost everybody has a split. He's not confident, wasn't pleased with the way it looked. So we actually did a lot of reshaping. That's a big space to close, and we wanted everything again to look proportional, as I had mentioned before. And so we were able to reshape them, do some porcelain veneers, reshape the bottom, gave him a smile that he was proud of. And literally, here's a guy 75 years old. He said, "I want to be proud of my smile," and so that's how he came to me. So it's been a good year for smiles, and like everything else you need now, they have to take care of it. Just like you renovate your house or renovate a car, they need to come in every 4 to 6 months to maintain it and do great home care, and that's the way to maintain this beautiful smile.
All right, great pictures. Want to love your smile? Make 2017 your year. To find out how to start and keep smiling through next year and beyond, give Steve a call. His number's next.
See what Dr. Stephen Marsh can do for your smile by calling 440-461-1003 or visit www.clevelandsmiles.com. Next, when they finally figured in FICA. Looking for places to go, things to do? Welcome to our community calendar. We have a great way to lighten up. Now through January 1st, enjoy nearly 1 million twinkling lights at the drive-through, family-friendly festival, Gift of Lights at Victory Park, Ohio in North Ridgeville. There's a tunnel of lights, as well as a series of holiday scenes, and a portion of the proceeds will benefit University Hospital's Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital. Call 440-954-8703 to light your way to more information, or click to www.giftoflights.com.
Last year marked the 80th anniversary of Social Security. While Jim Jarosik wasn't there all that time, he was there for nearly 40 years, and he had a front row seat to the changes that were made over the years. And he's here to tell us a few tales. Jim is a retired field representative from the downtown Cleveland Office of Social Security. You know a lot about the history of the retirement program. Can you give us just a refresher course on how everything came to be?
The original Social Security Act was signed into law by President Franklin D. Roosevelt on August 14th of 1935. It was part of what was called New Deal legislation, and it was meant to help bring the country out of the Great Depression that we were in at the time, and to help prevent any such thing from happening again. The initial basic intent was to partially replace income that was lost due to the retirement of the worker.
Okay.
And it was a retirement program only for the retired worker himself, only at age 65.
But it soon expanded to cover more than just the retirees, correct?
Yes, it did. The program grew and expanded through a series of amendments. It wasn't long before Congress recognized that when the worker retires, it's not just he, but also his family, who has lost their source of income and support. So they added in what's called auxiliary benefits, benefits payable to the spouses and children of the retired worker. Then in 1939 came survivor benefits for the widows and children of deceased workers. Then the third major benefit category came on in 1956, disability benefits. Well, at that time, there were a number of people with long-term, severe, debilitating conditions that became eligible for the new benefits. But they were home confined, and they weren't able to come into offices to file for the benefits. The field unit was suddenly deluged with requests for home visits. My forerunners as field representatives in the Cleveland Downtown District remember this as the toughest time in their careers. One of them described it as going out there day after day after day, going from house to house to house, seeing people that were dying right before your eyes. Well, they'd come home from work after another such day, and their wives would tell them that they had to quit the job. They didn't. If they would have, there wouldn't have been anyone to go out and take the claims from these severely ill, homebound people.
Sure.
The field reps really were the elite Green Berets of the agency. And I'm not talking about myself. I was a field representative. But I'm talking about the guys that were the veteran old-timers when I first came out of college and went into claims representative training class.
And when you started, there were some problems dealing with proving how old you were.
Yes, so for example, the 1961 amendments brought early reduced benefits at age 62. So someone who was turning 62 in 1962 was born in 1900. That made a proof of age problem because back then there were a number of states that still didn't keep birth records. U.S. Census records were a commonly used form of evidence of age at that time. Well, out of training class, I went to work in the Akron office. That was then at Broadway and Exchange. And one day I interviewed a claimant and I gave him a census request form with instructions to fill it out and submit it. After he left, my claims stenographer sitting behind me said, "Jim, I don't think he's going to be able to complete that by himself." I went out, saw him going up the street. I chased him 2 or 3 blocks up Broadway, brought him back, sat him back down at the desk, and I filled out the form. And he was very grateful and relieved. My steno knew better than I did.
She was the pro.
Right. She knew better. She had it right. She knew better than her claims rep, young claims rep partner who was just out of class.
I wish we had more time for stories, but we have talked about Social Security many times on Golden Opportunities. It's great to hear from someone who was a part of making it work for individuals on a day-to-day basis. My thanks to Jim for sharing stories and history with us today. And if you need help with Social Security, use the information that's coming up next. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
To learn more about the Social Security Administration, call 800-772-1213 or log on to www.ssa.gov. Next, he's an American treasure. It's time to get up and go. An exercise segment on Golden Opportunities.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Carbon from Breakout Fitness. Today we're here to show you how to do an exercise band abduction. This is going to work the muscles in the outer thighs. These muscles are very important because not only do they help us get around and move, but should we stumble, those are the muscles that are going to help catch us. You ready to go?
Yeah, and this is necessary.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're going to grab the band here. We're going to stand in the center of the band with our feet together. We want to make sure we're standing nice and tall. Let our hands hang to the side, and we're simply going to open wide and take one step to the side and then bring the feet together. Okay, so one big step, bring them together. Now let's go back the other way, a couple steps, switch, bring them together. Now it's important to control the movements. Okay, you want to make sure you use slow and controlled movements. Don't let your legs bang together. How you feeling?
Feels pretty good.
Good? You got stronger legs already, huh?
Yes, I do.
All right, everybody, 12 to 15 repetitions, 2 to 3 sets. And now it's your turn to get up and go.
For your copy of the exercise booklet, send $1 for postage to Golden Opportunities, 6105 Parkland Boulevard, Suite 140, Mayfield Heights, Ohio, 44124.
We know him as a comedian, an actor, a sometime dancer and singer, a friend to our troops, and a guy who really loved golf. Bob Hope is an American treasure, but he's also one of our own, having grown up right here in Cleveland. So what better place to present an exhibit of all of his accolades and accomplishments? Eric Rivet is here to help us say thanks for the memories. Eric is the curator of the exhibit that's at the Western Reserve Historical Society. So welcome to the show to talk about Bob Hope.
Thank you.
So while he might have called Cleveland home, we can't really take credit for this exhibit, can we?
That's right. So this is a traveling exhibit from the World Golf Hall of Fame and Museum in St. Augustine, Florida. And Hope was inducted into the Hall of Fame for lifetime achievement. I would call him a professional amateur in that he was an amateur, but he practically lived on the golf course. He was quite good. In fact, he used to joke that everything he did in Hollywood was just to make money to pay his greens fees.
That's a lot of golf. But the exhibit doesn't just cover his golf game, right?
That's right. That's one part of it. When you consider Bob Hope lived to be 100 years old, and probably 90 of those years was in the public eye, so it's a tremendous amount of material to cover. One of the things you will see in the exhibit is his connection to Cleveland. He was born in England, but he actually grew up around East 105th and Euclid, so just a couple of blocks from the museum. Something that's really especially relevant right now is he was a part owner of the Indians when they won the World Series in '48. And so one of the things you'll see in the exhibit is his championship ring.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Wow. So there's also other awards that are a part of the exhibit. So it covers so many areas of his interest, right?
It does. So, of course, he's best known for comedy. He spent most of his life working in Hollywood. During his lifetime, he received 5 honorary Oscars. You'll see one of his Academy Awards. You'll see one of his Emmys. But something that especially meaningful to me is you'll see his Congressional Gold Medal, which was awarded to him for his work entertaining the troops. In working with the USO over 50 years, it's estimated that he entertained more than 10 million servicemen and women during his lifetime.
Lots of wars that he took care of, helping our troops over there. So. He was also a pal to presidents, right?
He was, yeah. You know, party affiliation didn't really seem to matter to him too much. Starting with Franklin Roosevelt during World War II, Hope was friends with 11 presidents. He played golf with most of them. And
so was he better than the presidents?
Some of them, yeah. Some of them had a lot of time on their hands. But he was, I don't think we'll ever see another entertainer that had a connection with presidents the way he did.
And there's so many great pictures, I'm sure, but it would be great to see him really in action, you know, like a performance.
Sure, well, you can. So all throughout the exhibit, there are several videos that cover various aspects of his life, from his time as an immigrant in Cleveland in the early 1900s to his rise to success through vaudeville, radio, film, television, and like we talked about, you'll see Bob Hope with the presidents, you'll see entertaining the troops, you'll see his work in Hollywood, and then you'll also see his life at home, his family life.
Oh, cool. So how long do we get to see this exhibit before it goes away?
It's open now. It opened about 2 weeks ago, and it'll be open through the end of June 2017. And I've just got to tell you, 21 years of working in museums on exhibits, and this is the most fun I've ever had with an exhibit.
Well, that's good. I hope it's fun for everybody who goes to see it, too.
I hope so, too.
All right. You have to hand it to Bob Hope. He was an all-around amazing entertainer. And now you can relive the many memories and moments of his life in and out of the spotlight by visiting the exhibit, Bob Hope, an American Treasure, at the Western Reserve Historical Society. My thanks to Eric Rivet for giving us a perfect preview.
Learn more by calling the Western Reserve Historical Society at 216-721-5722 or visit their website, www.wrhs.org. Next, is required shoveling just a snow job?
Hilltop Village Apartments is retirement living at its best. Residents enjoy a wide variety of activities and living services with all large first-floor apartments, private screened-in patios with beautiful park views, daily dining room meals, free laundry facilities, 24-hour staff, and so much more. Enjoy safe, comfortable independence at a very affordable price. Call today for a tour and learn how you can get your first month's rent free. Hilltop Village Apartments, retirement living at its best.
Winter is here. Soon the snow will be falling. and so will people. It never fails that someone will be walking in a parking lot or up the driveway to visit a friend, and he or she will fall. What if somebody is visiting you and falls in your driveway? What is your liability? My law partner, Mike Solomon, is here to clear the path on this slippery subject. So welcome, Mike. So you invite your guests over some snowy day and they slip and fall. Are you liable?
Well, usually the answer is no. There was a case decided by the Ohio Supreme Court back in 1993 where someone was visiting a friend and they were walking from the driveway to the house and they slipped and fell on some snow and ice on the sidewalk going up to the front door. The Ohio Supreme Court said, you know, you're not liable for slipping and falling. Someone slips and falls on a natural accumulation of snow and ice.
Okay, so even if you know the snow is covering up that ice, you don't have to shovel?
No, the Ohio Supreme Court says, you know, you're living in Ohio, it's winter, there are inherent dangers. They assume you're smart enough to know that snow and ice are slippery.
Okay, and what if you shovel it?
Well, you know, the old saying, no good deed goes unpunished. If you shovel the snow and you set up a new pile, it's not a natural accumulation anymore. If someone slips and falls in that, you could be liable.
How about at the mall in the parking lot?
Well, again, it's the same sort of standard. You're not going to. The business owner has a duty to, you know, make the place safe and warn you if there are any dangers, but they're not a guarantor. If you slip and fall, it's not a guarantee that they're going to be liable for that.
All right. Wow. So good to know this on these snowy days that we have coming now. So winter is here, and snow will be falling. Let's hope you won't. Be careful and protect yourself, because in Ohio, the law says you're on your own. Have questions? Give Mike a call at the number coming up next.
Call Solomon, Steiner, and Peck at 1-888-236-5173 for more information or to schedule a speaker for your organization. Or log on to www.ssnplaw.com.
Thanks for joining us. On next week's show, as we welcome 2017, are you anxious about your investments? We'll make time for a market update. Then we'll offer options if you've missed out on enrolling for health insurance. And we'll look at some loopy laws to remember as you retire. But until then, please remember to make the most of your golden opportunities.
If you'd like to join our kitchen conversation, visit our website, www.goldenopportunities.tv. Like us on Facebook. Call us at 440-742-GO-TV or email us at kitchen@goldenopportunities.tv. We'd love to hear from you.
Golden Opportunities is paid for by Elder Productions.